Hey everyone, I'm really happy to again start off the live sessions. I hope everyone is doing well and I had a good time off from markets also for some time. How is everyone? So I hope you've been waiting for the session. I'm sorry for 1 week. I was supposed to start off yesterday, but I couldn't really start yesterday because I was not well. But yeah, we are finally here and I see a lot of welcomes on Twitter, DMs, and even on YouTube, on the comment section now. Thank you so much, and I hope everyone had a good time as well in the last 1 week. Markets were kind of jittery since Thursday, I think, or since Friday probably, but I think the markets are back now. There's no signs of worry yet. A lot of you might have been panicking, but I hope I was there yesterday to kind of cool down your nerves, but there's nothing to really panic. So we'll look at the charts shortly, but otherwise, yeah, if you can hear me properly and if you can see my video properly, just say all good or just give a thumbs up. Okay, because I've set up all my OBS and the other setups freshly again. So yeah. So hi Krishnavini, hi Tabitha, hi Amarjit, hi Shankar, hey Vijay, hi Ashok, hey Mayur, hey Arun, hi Dinesh. Seems like you spent your vacation in ITC hotels. No, never ever overspend your money. That's one of the rules I follow. Hey Akash, hey Akshay, hi Deepak, nice to see you. Timed the vacation well. Hopefully, yeah, but I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. So yeah, as usual, like if there are people who joined new, then you know the routine. For people who are joining me for quite some time, the routine is same. We'll go through the Nifty charts and we'll go through the trade with 10 investor portfolio, and then I'll also take up your questions. Okay, so let's start with Nifty. So this is a chart right in front of me, and if you see, the reason why I said that there's nothing to panic is because we are close to the trendline support and we are close to a major support, and which from where we reversed today. So this zone is a major support for me, right? So the zone here is a really good support levels for me, and until we don't go below this, the long term trend is still up, right? And if you see, we have been following higher high lows. So we had a nice breakout here after the consolidation, right? And then from here again we had another consolidation here and another breakout, and since that breakout, Nifty has been trending really well. Now if you've been having trend following strategies, then your trend following strategies would have done really well, and you would have made some decent money since the start of August month, right? So apart from a couple of false exits, right? So even my algo had a false exit, like we went short right here and we kind of covered that and we went long again this morning somewhere around middle of the sessions. So for now the trend looks really strong. There is nothing to panic. There has been a lot of news about the Chinese Evergrande, or the company names that default about the Chinese company real estate, but I really don't see that India would be really affected that much, because we are one of the strongest markets globally, and we are, in fact, I think we have performed the best even in terms of most of the markets. Like we are in the top one or top two, sorry, top three. I think in the global, how much we've gained in the last 1 year or so, we've been the top list, and people will not get out so easily because there's no other market probably which has that kind of strength. And while China markets have crashed, a lot of other markets have gone 20-30%, but we have hardly, we're close to all-time high, which is down 2-3%. And there's a lot of panic on Twitter, a lot of panic on social media that the crash is coming and all that. But you need to follow your rules, right? Unless you don't follow your rules, there's no way that you can hold on to your positions and continue to ride. Now, for example, LXCHEM, right? So LXCHEM, we have been holding in our portfolio since 280 levels. Today is at 540, and when this move happened, I got a couple of DMs on Twitter, a couple of messages on WhatsApp saying that should we book profits since we have such a steep run? But my answer was no, we should not book profits, because you tend to have such moves always, right? So you have these kind of moves always, and after that you have a follow through consolidation or short-term correction, following which this markets might again go up. So it's always good to follow your stop loss, follow your rules, and only then you can make money. You will not really panic, and just keep your stop loss and don't exit positions quickly. That's the only way to survive in markets. There's no other way. If you're just dancing according to the tunes of market, then it's just difficult to stay invested or stay with your positions that you're holding. So unless you've been short-term traders, intraday traders, I think there wasn't much difficulty in holding your positions or exiting. For example, we exited 2 stocks, Cummins and Fortis. Stop loss hit, we exit, right? But we're still holding on to LXCHEM, TATALXSI, and we added 3 new positions, Anuras, Craftsman and VIP. Right now, whether these will perform or not, only market can tell. But we follow the strategy of trend lines, momentum, and all that, and we kind of enter. So Nifty does look really well, and in fact, even Bank Nifty had a really good closing. Now, if you see, we had a kind of a hammer. You could also say it kind of a doji, right? But if you see, we had a dip all the way this morning to 36,500 levels, and we closed back at 37,300. That's a really, really good closing for Bank Nifty. So the breakout in Bank Nifty is really good, and I see strength there, and banks can in fact perform well going forward because we are close to that all-time high. It's just that some kind of a short-term correction that's happening in Bank Nifty. But this week we had a really good close, and unless we don't break the level of 36,000, I don't really see a problem in Bank Nifty, and the move has been really good. So we can also call this probably it's not a cup and handle, but yeah, we are close to all-time highs, and I think we are heading much higher in Bank Nifty. Now, in terms of the sectors, Bank Nifty is one of the strongest sectors. Also FMCG is there. You have FMCG, also ITC is driving this sector really well. But apart from this, I think auto has no strength at all. Pharma is kind of consolidating. So the strong sectors and metal sector has been underperforming of late. So if you see the strength is in FMCG, the strength is in Bank Nifty, the strength is not in auto, the strength is not in pharma. So you need to focus on these stocks if you're probably doing F&O trades or something like that. Okay, so let's jump into the Nifty trade and let's look at our view for tomorrow, right? So as I said, the trend line has been that range has been really a good support level. We kind of try to go and fill just around that previous gap or previous supports around 17,300 levels, right? So we dipped all the way to 17,300 and we had a good close. So the short-term trend is back again up, even the on the 5 minutes time frame, 15 minutes time frame, all levels, because we now have a new higher high, because this was the previous. Let's remove all of this just to make it more clear. So if you see this morning, actually we had an inverted head and shoulders bottom, right? So this was a perfect bottom breakout, and we had a very small stop, right? So if you see, even here we had a very small stop, and you could have probably entered here, and you could have probably trailed your stop, keeping your swing high, swing low. And according to swing high, swing low, you would still probably keep your stop loss at 70,430 levels and kind of trail it to high levels, right? So the trend is completely up again. So we had a short term lower highs, lower lows, and now we have switched from this point, we have switched to higher lows on the 5 minutes time frame. On the daily time frame, we're already in uptrend. It's only in the 15 minutes hourly time frame we were in a downtrend, but now the short term trend also is clearly up. There's nothing to really worry. Even if you see right on the hourly time frame, if you see here, this was the level that we are talking about, right? So until we don't close below this level, right, I don't see really any problem, and this level can act as a really strong support because this is almost 3-4 days consolidation before we had a breakout and we headed higher. Now strength, as I said, will come from FMCG, will come from Bank Nifty, and metals might bounce back. I'm not really sure, right? So metals is kind of, if you go to the weekly charts, you'll see that's a major support zone, right? So just like Nifty had, this is also a major support zone, right? So unless we don't go below this, I don't see a problem yet on even in the commodity space. Maybe we might have the moves might not be great. No, that also I can't really predict. But for now, I don't see a problem in metals as well. You should be continuing to holding your positions in metal because still the higher low is still intact. We're just facing resistance around the all-time high, and the previous swing low is still intact, right? So this was the previous swing low, and that's still intact. Okay, so there's nothing to worry yet. But jumping back to Nifty, the view for tomorrow is the view is still long, but we have kind of gone up very fast after today's opening, right? So today we had a gap up opening, and then we kind of made lower high, lower lows, and then we kind of made high, high lows. So the trend is still up. Sorry, you should be looking to go for longs. There's nothing else that you should not be going short, definitely. I think a lot of people have been shorting this market, and they've just been hurt or being burnt. They've been burning their hands, so you should not be really looking to short a market where it is forming higher lows like this, right? So probably shorting level opportunities were here, right? When we had, I'm sorry, my trading view is stuck. Yeah. right? So around that zone is probably we should probably shorted when we had this, so we kind of had a downfall, and then we kind of faced resistance, and we broke that low. So when we broke that low, you could have gone short with the stop there, and then you probably could have made some decent points here, and now you could have gone long again. Okay, so the plan for tomorrow is any dips towards 17,500 or even towards 17,478. So any dips towards 17,478, 17,500 levels can be used for buy, right? So that's a major, I feel that's a major or a good support level for the markets. And if you don't get that level, then I don't see a point now going long because I don't have a proper stop. But tomorrow, if we gap up probably, then we could have faced some resistance because that zone again can act as a resistance zone, right? So that zone there. So, so immediately for immediate or short-term targets, I think we will face some resistance in this band from 17,650 to 17,600. So that's a 50-point band. We might face some resistance there. So probably if you want to short, you can probably short. So we might see some rejection as well. But any dips towards 17,500 can be used for going longs, and any rise towards 17,650 probably can go short, but I'd not short this market. Okay, so I'll be purely looking for longs, and any small dips or small consolidations like this or small dips like this in this market can be used to go long. Okay, so that's the view for Nifty. Okay, so switching to the Trendline Trade with Trendline Investor series, the portfolio is up around, I think, 15% overall. We've given up some gains because of LXCHEM. LXCHEM went all the way up to 600 odd levels, and we come down back to 538, right? But today our portfolio is up 0.42. Overall, we are up around 14.6%. So we started in July 23rd. So it's 2 months, we are up 15%. Primarily led by LXCHEM, and we are looking for those 1 or 2 stocks, right? And now even TATALXSI has joined the party. We are around 26% up in this stock as well. So that's a 6% return on your portfolio, on a portfolio level, not on this stock. On a portfolio level, we're up 6% just because of TATALXSI. So these 2 stocks have been really good, and have been covering up for most of our, we've had 16 trades till now, and we had only 4 trades in profits. Otherwise, these are other 2 trades which have really good profits, right? Now, switching to the sheet. So the sheet has been updated. I just updated it just before this live session. So you can go through the sheet. You can see this. Okay, so I've added Anuras, Craftsman, and VIP Industries. Now we look at the stop loss, how I added, why the stop loss was that level and all that. We look at it shortly. But as you see, the risk is around 1% of our portfolio, right? So we've risked another 2.5%. Now overall, I think from here, from this we are 9%, and from here I don't see us really going down and losing much money. So probably we might go down probably to 10% odd on overall portfolio level, but I would not probably even allow that. And as of today, I think we would lose around, if all the stops hit, then probably we'll lose around additional 2.5%, which you have risked as a new risk. Okay, so that's the updates. Now if you go to the trades closed sheet, you would see the trades that were closed. So we closed Cummins and Fortis, right? So yeah, so if you see, our probability of winning probably is just 25% because we started off in a jittery market, and that's why a few stops hit. But that doesn't matter. You have to start at some point, and you will always have, sometimes you will be lucky, sometimes you not be lucky, right? So it's all up to you, the markets. But you have to start at some point. And when we started off, we had quite a few losses that we booked in July, right? As soon as we entered, I know our stops hit in the 13th of July. Right, and that's one of the reasons why our accuracy is so low. But over a bit of 100 trades, I think the accuracy would probably jump to 40%, and that's more than enough if you want to be a really good trader. 40% accuracy with a good RR and a few good trades would keep your portfolio up, and you will always try to find those good trades, right? So that should be your focus. Okay, so nothing to worry much here. We've lost around 3% of our capital while booking all these profits and losses. Now, if you see our average RR, right? So what is average RR? So if we risk 1 rupee in the market, how much money are we making? So our average RR is around 0.32, right? So which means on an average, we've lost 0.3 paisa on the 1 rupee that we risked in the markets. So that's a decent money. But over a period of 100 trades, we will see what is our the law of averages would catch up, and some good trades might bring this number really up. Okay, so for now, that's the update. Now let's switch to the stocks, and I'll cover the stocks quickly. I'll tell you the reasons why I selected the stocks, and then we can move to your questions. Okay, so LXCHEM, our stop loss is 496. Now, if you have followed our videos, you would know why we kept our stop loss at 496, which was this. So this was probably a cup and handle breakout here, and I said we had more stop to 496. And this morning, right? We came right to 496.6, so we just missed our stop loss was missed just by 60 paisa. Now, sometimes we might be lucky like this, but most of the times we might not be lucky in a bad market. So it's completely, if it was hit, we'd have just exited, and if it had hit 5% of a secured, we'd probably not look at it at least for some time for now. But the interesting point to note is today we had really good volumes in the stock, and we've had a really good close at upper secured. The volumes have been fantastic, and this entire move down from here was in very low volumes. That's also because of secures, because not much buying would happen there. But and I'd not really consider that as one of the reasons. But the reason today I'm really confident that LXCHEM will make new highs is because of the volumes today. The volumes have been fantastic right at the support level. Just we spoke about Nifty, the same thing has happened here as well. Okay, so that's our first stock, the portfolio. TATALXSI has moved really well. Now, if you see, we entered somewhere around, I'm not sure the exact price, we entered around 4,400 odd levels, which was around here, right? So around here, 4,400 we entered. So since this move, we had this frustrating, sideways moves, and then we had these spikes. Now this is the kind of moves that makes, it takes time. You need to sit with your portfolio, sit with those stocks until they're not hitting a stop loss. It's totally fine. Just let them run, and then you get these kind of days when you have massive moves. And we had again a bad day down today, but even the markets went down, this kind of stock kind of kept our portfolio up. So as of today, the stop loss has not been updated, but probably what we can do is, I'm just checking the stock to see where we can update a stop. Yeah, probably let's wait for some more time, but for now I'll update the stop loss to 5,000, which is this low, which is also a short-term breakout from here. So I'll just move this to 5,000, the stop for TATALXSI. I think it was a little on the lower side, but now that we have run up so much, I don't want to give back some profits, so I'll move the stop to 5,000. Okay, so which means we're locking profits of 2.8%, right? And overall, we are up around 6%, right? So once probably if we break out this high and go again, then probably I'll move my stop to 5,400 as well, which is this day low. Okay, so the next stock is Anuras, which is the most interesting part, I think, which many of you are waiting. Why did I choose Anuras? Now, Anuras has been, since, like, as I always say, start with the weekly charts, and then go to the daily charts, right? So on the monthly charts, if you see, we've been having a strong sell-off since the month of May. We've been having strong sell-off, but also we've been seeing strong demand at the lower levels. So this level of 700, is kind of a very strong, support zone, I'd say. And if you go to the weekly charts, you'll get that picture much clearer, right? Now, this level of 700, 705 is a very strong support zone. Okay, and if you see here, we had this nice, dip during the week, but we kind of closed the week above 700. Now that shows that this level is very important. And also, if you see just a simple trend line, you can draw it however you want, but this trend line is not really reliable. It's not a reliable trend line. Now, trend lines can be drawn however you want, right? I've always told that trend line is very subjective, depends on the person who's looking at it. But if you draw this as a trend line, then probably I think we have made a low. So probably this day was a low, and even if the markets were falling the last 2 days, this didn't fall much. So I don't see a problem here. And I feel that, the only problem I see is this is a very highly overvalued stock. The P is around 100 odd levels, and it might take some more time, go sideways, I'm not sure. But for now, it's IPO stock, it had a nice run. Now it's forming a nice base, and probably this is a consolidation phase, and we're probably heading higher again. So now in this case, I've kept the stop loss around, I think, 700 or 730. Yeah, 730 is my stop, which is this low, right? Now, some of you might ask how I found the stock. Now, this is IPO stock, so I have a separate, list of IPO stocks. I just click through them every day because IPO stocks tend to move a little fast, and that's how I have got this stock. And but even if you don't have that, you could have found this probably in the the pullback stock, or even here in the daily, you could have got this here as well, right? So this daily CCA went above 100, and that's one of the reasons that. Right, so that's one of the reasons why also this came in the scanner and added the stock. Okay, so overall the stock looks good. It just needs to break out, probably a couple of days of more consolidation, and then the stock might head higher. Okay, since it's probably a small cap company, I think it's just facing that kind of sell off right at the top, but I think we should head higher from here. Okay, so if you have any questions on this, let me know. The next one is Craftsman, right? Craftsman again is a very good stock. It's a fundamentally very good stock, IPO stock. It recently listed, and the same kind of analysis here, right? Always go to monthly charts first, but in this case we did not have much data, but still we had a sell-off in the month of July, right? Now if you go to the weekly, you'll observe that we had a breakout here from this. So we had a 4 weeks consolidation, we had a breakout with rising volumes, and then we had a kind of a dip, and then we saw demand popping up right this same breakout zone. Now that's a breakout, this resistance now is turning to be a support, right? And if you see last 3 weeks, we've just been forming a very short range candles. Otherwise the ranges have been really big. Now this is total price compression, and this price compression might probably get over very soon, and we might head higher. Another reason is from here, from the trendline support, if you see, we're right around this trendline support over here. Right now, this might not come in both of your scanners, neither the pullback nor in your breakout stocks. Again, I said some of the stocks in the IPO, I keep tracking them just to see do I get a good entry price, because you might really find some good entry price like this trendline retests here, and that can really give you some good returns in the short term. Okay, there is one of some of our primary scanners are weekly CCI above 100. Daily CCI above 100 and daily CCI crossing above minus 100, right? These are 3 primary scanners. But apart from this, I also have some of the stocks which I manually check also, right? Also, Twitter is a great place to find stock ideas. If you find someone posting some stock ideas, and if the chart pattern really looks good, then feel free to go ahead and take that trade as well. Okay, the last stock is VIP. VIP has, I covered this in a newsletter, and it's kind of going sideways. Again, this crossed CCI 100 here, and that's the reason why it came in my scanner. It has been struggling to go up. The primary reason for that is this resistance over here, right? So if you see, I'll just remove the CCI. If you see, we have this strong resistance over here, and that's one of the reasons why the stock is not moving. It just needs probably some more time before it heads higher. Okay, but when the move comes, it'll be really quick, because taking out such a strong resistance will need a very good move in order to take out that weak hands. Okay, or probably get out those people who are trying to sell. So that's the stocks in my in our portfolio. Okay, if you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. And some of the other stocks I'm looking at is Britannia, right? So Britannia has, again, I covered this in our newsletter, in one of the newsletters, and this has been consolidating again. Now this day is very interesting, because that was a low when we had a demand week, and again the stock kind of went below that, and we kind of came again. Now this is in a very strong consolidation again, right? So we just probably need 1 or 2 more days before this breaks out. Also, this is close to a trendline support, and I feel that the stock, it has very good momentum, right? If you see, the momentum has been very strong. It's just sideways consolidation, not major dips. So it's just about probably a few days, and the stock might head higher as well. Okay, ITC, we all know the story. There was a massive compression, and it's just been moving higher. Now the problem, so one of the major things I see is this bearish trend line. Now tomorrow we need to cross 245 levels this week. By Friday, probably 245, 250 if we cross, then that will be a really good sign for ITC, and this can really head to 600 levels in the next 4-5 years. Now the reason why I'm saying 250 levels is because this area is a major resistance zone. We kind of had a resistance here, and probably we might see or might not see, but if we once we cross 250 levels, then ITC can really head to 600 levels in the next many years, or next 3 to 5 years. Okay, now why am I giving a target of 600, right? Many of you might ask that. It's because of this channel, right? So if you just take this channel and I kind of draw that, right, this is the channel that I'm looking at, right? It's a parallel channel. We kind of had a spike down, but it is just sideways. And now if you look at the upper channel, we might probably head to around just get this chart down. So 800 levels, right? So in the next 4-5 years or next 10 years, probably 800 is a very good target to look at in ITC. It's not a bad company. There's been a lot of critique on ITC. I posted this chart multiple times on Twitter as well. And parallel channels tend to do really well, right? And it's a very good stock, very good company. It's just time correction for since 2013 it's just been a time correction, and time correction is very common in stocks which have run up very lot. So from 66 it went up to 250, and it's just a proper time correction, which is part and parcel of markets. So yeah, do note that stock. In case you invested, do let me know. Right, next is Mcdowell's, again, which I'm looking at, and if you see, we are right around, so we kind of had a breakout, but I'm just probably thinking that this also could be a resistance. As I always say, trend lines are subjective. Some people might say, this is a breakout here, but for me, the last trend line is this, the last bearish trend line. And once we cross, probably levels of 780 levels, or 780 if we close above this week, above this month above 740, even that's more than enough for a good breakout. So, but again, this is a very good stock, a very good company. The debt has reduced drastically. You might be really interested in this stock, and this also can go to much higher levels. Again, a parallel channel trend. Again, this is just a normal time correction since 2015. We can go all the way to 2500 levels. So 2500 is upper channel in the next 5-10 years. Okay, these are all investment stocks. Okay, so don't expect returns to come probably in the next 6 months or 1 year. Have patience, and they might really give you a good CAGR of more than 30% in the next many years. Okay, so that's the next stock that is in my radar. Network 18, we all know. Again, I've covered this stock. It's again media, in the media space. We've been having again last 2 months of doji. Again, probably this is also the 3rd month of doji. Right now, this is getting really tight. The moment the move comes, Network 18 is going to give a really good move, and that move can come really fast. Okay, because just observe the volumes and just observe the contraction which is happening. Right, so all it needs to is cross above 60 levels, 65 levels, and then we can already see targets of 180 levels. You can also watch the video which I've put up. The other stock is Inoxleisure. Again, it seems like the cinema stocks are kind of coming back, the theater stocks. And if you see again, Inoxleisure has been in a parallel channel, and I think it just needs to cross about 340, and then we can probably see levels of 800 levels in the next 5-10 years. Okay, so these are all investment picks with very short or very minimal risk, right? So you might want to consider them in your portfolio. If you've had some stocks which have gone up 5x, 10x, and probably shifting some money from there to these stocks, makes sense. Even PVR again, is looking really good. I did post, when it broke out from this, this level here, back in Jan or Feb last year, I was really worried about the stock, and it kind of went down, but I thought it will go down further, but it didn't go down further, and we kind of had a multi-month consolidation, and I think now the steam is really picking up now, and this also might do well going forward. Okay, also if you see in CCI, it's on the weekly charts, it's just crossing 100, right? That's also one of the reasons how the stock is coming in my scanner, and if you see, the volumes have been good. Okay, so these are two stocks you want to look at in the cinema space or in the media space, whatever you call it. Next is CANFINHOME. CANFINHOME again is a very good stock. It's close to all-time highs, and it is just breaking out. And this stock, again, this channel might not be really perfect channel. In fact, it's not a perfect channel at all. I just drew it just for the sake of it, I think. But here, if you see, we kind of close to the all-time high, and once we break this, probably we are going to see much targets. This is a beautiful rounding bottom base. Again, we might not see these levels back again for many years. Okay, so these are some of the good stocks. Venkys again is another stock. It is consolidating. This is again in a beautiful channel. Now this is a perfect channel, right? Now you see the top and bottom is very, very, very obvious. Now again here we might see some good moves. Short-term trade, not a proper investment idea though. We have broken out of this short-term channel trend here, right? And it's kind of consolidating past many weeks. And today we had a dip close to that support zone again. Okay, so this also might do well going forward. Home First was also in one of my this one, and it was in the 5 stocks that I shortlisted for trade with Trendline investor portfolio. But today we had a good shakeout, probably just below that symmetrical triangle, and I think it's a very good risk reward setup. Just stop loss is today's low, right around 530 levels, just 25 point stop, and that can do really well, or 20 point stop. The last one is Motilalofs. It's kind of this had a very crazy fall after that move. I'm still holding it in my investment portfolio. So this is that level of resistance that we had, right? We had this resistance, we had a breakout to kind of retest now, and we've been having good demand at the lower levels in the last 2 weeks, and I also see this might also head up. The only thing it has to cross is, once it crosses levels of 855, which is this line here. If you see, we've had this rejection over here, 855, again 856, and again 853. Right, so once you cross 855 levels, then I think momentum will really pick up in Motilalofs, and we might really head back to the previous highs, which is around 1200 levels. Okay, so these are some of the stocks. I'm sorry it took really a lot of time, but I wanted to give you some stocks ideas rather than discussing some other stocks, right? So now any questions on this, let me know. I will answer, and let's look at some of your questions today. So hey Praneeth, hey Sagar, hey Divya, Satish, hi. Watching IPL, good. Hi Anirudh, hi Vallabh. Adani Enterprise seems like reversed from support today. Amarjit, let's look at Adani. Okay. Yes, it does look good. In fact, I think it has reversed. So this probably is a support. Yes, you see the trend line. It's a beautiful trend line support. We have reversed. Stop loss is just today's low. It's very small stop loss. We can probably see levels of again 1380 levels again. Right. So sorry, 15600 levels again. So that's a major resistance that I see for short term. Once we break out that, I think new highs are. It's just about time we have fresh high all-time highs. Okay, this looks good. Marjit, stop loss is today's low. Hey Naresh, why stocks follow this trend line? What's the reason behind this? There is a nice article on Google. Just say type why trend lines work, and I also posted I think this on Twitter long time back. I'm not sure how long, but it says basically group psychology. It's basically crowd psychology, or it's nothing but when a group of people try to buy something at some point because of greed or fear, you have these higher lows forming. And sometimes these higher lows, basically coincide with the trend lines and trend lines form. Now, I can take a separate session on this, but there is a PDF available on Google for free. I think just type why trend lines work or how do trend lines work. You might get a PDF with some good explanation. If you don't get it, just DM me on Twitter. I can send you the PDF. Okay. Devabrata is asking Gujarat Gas and HG Infra. Okay, let's check that. I already have some lines drawn. I'm just going to check whether they're coinciding. Okay, no. So this trend line is not valid anymore. So basically I was looking at this here, but it did not reverse. Now, some of the major support zones for Gujarat Gas, I think today was a good reversal candle on this one. But if you really want to look at investing in the stock, I think a retest towards 570 would be a very good level to add. But 570 seems far away. But I think today's candle looks good. What I do is I just probably wait for a fresh higher to form, because we've been forming lower highs continuously on daily chart. On the weekly, we've been forming higher highs though, right? So all you need to probably wait for levels of 690 to cross, and then you can add about 690 for now. Or if you form a higher high here itself, then just wait for that and then probably buy that again, right? But for now, I think this short-term trend is clearly down in the stock, and probably maybe once we go back above 690 or levels, then you might see some fresh momentum in the stock. Or another way is to just wait for this trend line, bearish trend line, to be taken out, right? So I'll remove all of this. All you need to wait is 690 to take out, or this bearish trend line to be taken out, and then you can probably go into Gujarat Gas. But the short-term trend is down in the stock. Okay, Hedge Infra I think is very good. The entire infrastructure stocks are good, right? Now, if you see the structure there in Gujarat Gas and here, this is a proper retest of the breakout, right? And the trend is clearly in high, right? Higher lows. The trend is clearly up, and you might want to continue to hold the stock. If you're investing, probably a stop around 480 would make more sense, or 460 also would make more sense. Okay. Anirudh, if I buy Ashok and Icon, what level safe swing trade? It's always there's no specific levels that there's no specific levels that I have in mind, but just follow swing high, swing lows, and you should be good, I feel. I think this is Ashok Leyland is one of the strongest automotive stocks from my perspective, at least. It has not gone down that much like a Maruti, or like something like Hero MotoCorp or something. So if you're going for a swing trade, probably you should keep your stop around 122, right? 122, and look for targets of 140 levels. Okay, so that's how you should do it. Helicon. Also, when you're doing swing trades, ensure you keep RR and don't do trend following in swing trades. You might miss out on some good profits. Follow, the RR concept. So if you're risking 1 rupee, once you make 2 rupees, book half your profits, and once you book 3 or 4, book out completely. Okay. So I think Helicon has reversed from a trend line support. That's a nice trend line support reversal. I think it now can head to again 184 level. So if you're looking for a swing trade, keep stop today's day's low, and 185 could be your targets. Okay. Now, most of the stocks might have made a bottom today. That's my perspective, but we need to wait and see in the following days how it can head. Okay. Vignesh, I have no idea on a yearly basis how will Gravita do. No one can tell you in a year what a stock can do. Okay. Now, next 1 year, like in 2020, no one knew that COVID crash would come so fast, right? Now COVID would come and market would crash. So no one can really predict markets. All you need to do is keep a stop loss, and if it goes up, Just keep holding it. If it goes down, just exit. There's no other rule. No one can tell you in a year or 5 years down the line what a stock can do. Everything is a probability. So you need to understand the game of probability and just play according. Okay, Dinesh, Tata Power gives nice breakout over 137, but came back below breakout event levels to watch. Yes, let's look at Tata Power. I think it's a good. Yeah, it has given a good breakout and it has done a retest probably, right? So that level is probably retest today, and also it is around this level zone, right? So that's a proper trend line retest. So it is good. I think it has done a bottom here probably. If you're holding, keep a stop around 125 odd levels, or even a strict could be 129 odd levels. But I think a retest has been done. It has broken out on this day with volumes. It's just the market tanked and this also tanked. And I think we have done with this retest, and it should probably head higher from here. Okay, how did you shortlist Anuras VIP Craftsman? Vijay, I've spoken about that, just to replay maybe. VIP India, Nissan, I have given the chart view, so you can check that, just replay. Sagar, Arihant and SSWL. Okay. Arihant, there are multiple Arihants. Arihant Super, okay, superstructure. It's looking good, Sagar. So all you need to do is it has broken out. It is doing well compared to the markets. This stock has not seen any downtrend, right? So it's continuously going up. Continue to hold. The stop should be around 100 levels. Okay, it's a one. Yeah, that's a 40 point, but that's how it is. So it has a very high volatility. So you need to be careful. So next is SSWL. I think this also is good. It has just retested, I think, this level, right? So that was level I think we saw this some time back also, right? So that's the zone you want to watch it for. Now it started making lower high, lower lows, but I think this should hold for now. Your stop loss still continues to be on 1440 levels, and wait for this. It might just continue to head higher. I don't see this as I don't see any problem with this yet. Okay. Kotak's bank setup. Kotak has run up a lot, Anisha, so I don't think you should be looking at it right now. Kotak, the right levels was around 1800. I think we spoke about this as well. Right level was around 1800 levels. You should have entered at that point. Right now, it's not the right time to enter. Maybe for investment, if you want to enter, but your stop loss should be 1740. Okay, it is just consolidating around the all-time highs for now. But if it goes above, also you can enter, right? But your entire stop loss for this position will be 1740. So it's around 10% stop loss, 10 to 15% stop. Okay, I'm just looking if there are any strategy related questions, and then I'll go to stocks. Naresh, Nazara looks really good. I'll come back to that. Sorry, not Clean Science looks really good. I'll come back to that. Any reason we shouldn't pyramid on Lakshmi? You can pyramid, Jaydev. Definitely you can pyramid, but stop loss remains at 496. But we're already having a good 35% position size, so that's why we're not pyramiding. But you can definitely pyramid at current market price. Yeah, so I didn't want to go overboard on LXCHEM. We already have a 35% position size on LXCHEM, Jaydev. So I didn't want to go overboard and add more because then it'll be too concentrated, and probably, you know, this is the objective in this is more to teach rather not to look at returns. But you can go ahead and pyramid if you're willing to take that big position and if you're willing to handle that big position. But I'd say try to have 4 to 5 positions minimum, right? Don't go below that. Because volatility tends to increase. Just a couple of stocks can bring your portfolio down or take your portfolio up. But it's totally fine if you want to do that. It's completely depends on your risk appetite. Abhinav, the trading journal, I'll try to give it, but I want you to put your effort, right? So try to build it on your own. That will give you more confidence on the trading journal, right? I don't want to spoon feed everyone. That's one of the reasons I've not given that edit access to everyone. Okay. I'm just looking for any other strategy related questions. Okay, nothing else. Maybe Satish is asking view on small cap index. Okay, so let's take a look at small cap. It might benefit everyone. Right, so small cap I think is again you know, around that zone. It's taking resistance again, right? So until this line has not taken out, right? So until this line is not taken out, until 11,500 is not taken out, I'd not be really comfortable yet saying that we are going to have much more bigger rally. So for now, initially, if you remember, we had a trend line like this, and now I'm going to move my trend line like this. As I said, it's always subjective, right? So for now, the higher low is still intact in the small cap index. Probably, you know, we might have done a bottom today. Not quite sure about that, but if we have followed through, in the coming days, then yeah, we have made a bottom obviously. Now, until this trend line is not broken, right? So until we don't go below 9,560 levels, the trend in small caps is still up. Until that, there's nothing to freak out yet. So continue to hold on to your positions, and I think small cap can do really well if the market holds on, and specific stocks can do really well as well. Okay. Abhinav, no. In swing trades, you should not wait for closing basis. You might give back some profit. So always stick to your actual stop loss. In fact, even for positional trades, we don't stick to closing basis. So closing basis is only if you have a very small position, around 5% maybe. But the moment you cross 20-30% position size, you should not be sticking to closing basis. Your risk is just high. That's all. It's all about risk, right? So Ninad, no, FNO probably maybe another 6 months I'll do a video, but nothing for now maybe. Okay, but maybe I'll give some stock how I did, but I think on how to trade, that's something still some time away. Okay, I'm going to look at some more stocks before we close off. Okay, I think I covered still VIP, Nazara, and Naresh had this question about Nazara. I think Nazara had a breakout and a retest, right? So this was the breakout here in the 14th September, and we kind of retested that breakout also, which is the horizontal breakout. Now this was the previous highs, and we're kind of reversing from that levels, right? So I think it's a very, very good low risk setup. So 2000 can be a stop. It's just a 4-5-6% stop loss, and you can probably look for higher levels. But Nazara is picking momentum. The consolidation is over, and we are now in a new uptrend. Okay, and also clean signs. I think Arpit also posted this some time back, and we spoke about this downtrend here, breakout here, and I think also mentioned this level of 1570. But this has been a really strong uptrend, and it has not shown any signs of weakness yet, and the trend can continue in coming days. Okay. So that's my view. Mizan, EVP stop loss is mentioned in this sheet. Please check the sheet. Okay. OL and clean signs, right time for investment. Akshay, I've told you the views. It's up to you if you want to invest. But clean signs have already gone up a lot. I would not really invest in clean signs yet. Right now, I'd wait for a dip and then probably add more. Okay, OL also looks good. It is in a uptrend still. You can probably go ahead, but define your stop loss. Your stop loss is around 750, 760 levels, right? 740 levels around, or even 750 levels if you're a little aggressive. I think it's still just a breakout, probably retest, a deep retest in this case. Can head higher as well here. Okay. What Wizard, Binay? I don't prefer such stocks, to be honest. This is just manipulated, complete manipulation. I don't even like looking at these charts, to be honest. So yeah, the trend is up. It has had a strong downtrend here in this frame. But if you're holding, just keep a stop around 59 and exit, just clean exit. That's it. You can't really, technical sometimes don't work really in illiquid stocks. So, but the trend is clearly up, so you can hold, just keep a stop around 55. Okay. I don't say technicals don't really work, but it's just difficult to trade such stocks. They might go on sideways consolidation for years, months. You never know. Okay. Tata Steel and Excel, yeah, Harish. I think Tata Steel has made a bottom. The only problem I see is it's made a lower high compared to the previous ones. And it also has kind of broken out from this channel, right? So that's the only problem I have with Tata Steel. But until we don't go probably below, really the reason why I'm not really comfortable with Tata Steel is because it has broken from this support, right? And this is the first time it has done that, probably in months. It has broken a very strong support here and it has gone down. But also a good thing to notice, if you're investing, probably I'd keep a stop around 1000 levels, right? And you can continue to hold this one. But if you're short-term trading, then I'll probably wait for 1470 levels takeout, right? So there's a gap there, and I remember we spoke about this gap some time back. We said this gap needs to be taken out, and then because I said we'll see selling here, and this has seen selling and we have come down again. So this gap needs to be taken out, and we need to cross probably about 1480 levels for short-term traders or positional traders, and only then you should be adding. Unless then don't add, you'd just be sitting on idle cash, which just the stock might just keep going sideways for some more time. But for now, the volumes today, I don't think that a bottom is in place for investments. Also, this is a breakout retest of this zone, right? So probably investment people, if you're investing for sure like many years, I don't think you have to see, I don't think there's a problem yet, but short-term traders above 1480. Okay, Axelia has kind of, again, short-term downtrend, but I think here once we cross 1350, then we can probably head higher, right? But even now I don't see a problem in this. It's just a breakout retest here. Okay, so probably above 1350 I'd be really interested in this stock, and then you can see some good momentum probably heading to 1540 levels. Okay, Genus, Ninad is asking on Genus. Okay, we are running out of time. I need to go. Pure uptrend, Ninad, so I don't see a problem yet. Short term, I think there's a short downtrend, but I think once we cross above these levels or these previous swing high, I think momentum should pick up again. But I think this is probably a trend line, reversal might be, not a perfect trend line might be, but I think it's kind of having some trend line reversal somewhere. Yeah, that point probably. So this is a trend line reversal right from the bottom. It has kind of reversed, so you can keep, it's a very low risk setup. Even you can keep a stop at today's low and enter as well. Okay. Guys, I think what I'll do is, I think we're really running out of time. I do have still many stocks that I'm looking at. Okay, let's take some more time and finish it off. Gravita just going sideways, Vignesh, so nothing to worry yet. Just about a time before it breaks out. So don't really worry. A stop loss for entire position can be, around 160 levels. Okay. Reliance Power, Vodafone Idea. I don't really look at these stocks, Jaydev. They are just stocks which have been trading at, they have a lot of supply, right? So even if they come up, they might come for some short term and they might not really do well. So don't look at these stocks which have gone down so much, right? They might just be consolidating for some time. There are so many other stocks that you can look at. But anyways, the trend has changed from down to up, but there's a lot of resistance on the higher levels, right? So as and when the stock goes high, it will keep facing ceiling pressure. I'm sorry. On the monthly, we've not even crossed the previous swing high. So maybe, yes, we've broken out here, inverted head and shoulders. Maybe a bottom is in place. But if you're invested in this, then continue to hold. There's nothing to worry. But I not really prefer personally, buying such stocks which have fallen down so much, because every rise would be sold off. Okay, try to focus on stocks which are in, hitting fresh all-time highs or fresh better highs, right? So again, idea is in an uptrend. We had the sell-off here, but that sell-off kind of is reversing. And again, on the weekly charts, we have made a lower high, lower low, and it's just trying to break again into a upper, into an uptrend again. So again, if you're holding, you can continue to hold ideas. I don't see a problem yet. Just see what is the stop loss, and you can be invested. Okay. Hey Masood. Deepak is asking on Delta Corp. Delta Corp is good, Deepak. So it is really in a good uptrend. You see, we kind of had a downtrend breakout here, and we made a base, and we kind of headed higher. The stock can head much higher from here. Now the stop loss is a little aggressive. If you're positional, keep 216. If you're investing, then probably keep 160 levels. Okay. So Delta, yes, I'm done. Goldium is an excellent stock, Masood. So continue to hold. It is one of the best stocks, I think, in the entire mid cap and small cap space. We've just been going high. Again, every dip is being bought. Again, we've formed a good 8%. It has gone up 8% today. So your stop loss continues to be around 640 levels. So continue to keep holding. Okay. So I think I've given that. Krishnaveni, on your point about trend lines on less than 1 year charts, go to my blog. There is a nice article, but there is sometimes, it depends on the moves. It's not only the time frame. It depends on how much the stock has moved also in a year, right? If the move has been really, exponential move, then you need to switch to log charts. Okay. So I prefer always use log charts. Sometimes you can use normal charts. Okay. There will be difference if you have kind of, in short term, if the stock has moved really a lot, then log scale really makes sense. Utkarsh, FTC, I think this will be the last stock for the day. It's just going sideways, Utkarsh. There's nothing much happening in this counter, but I think it's just consolidating around that, previous all-time high breakout. So it might go sideways for some more time. There's no momentum. Momentum has been completely lost. I think that's because of the entire pharma space not doing well. You just need to give it some time, right? Keep a stop loss around 320 levels and continue to hold it. Okay, last one, Sham Metallics. Sham Metallics, if it comes around 360 levels, then yes, definitely you can continue to hold. Right now, if you see, this is what I say. Right, the moment this swing low was broken, we've been forming low high low lows. Right, so even this swing low has been now broken. So it doesn't look good, but I think entire stop loss should be around 360 levels, and then probably if it goes below that, then we are seeing much lower levels. But for now, the trend is clearly down, and wait for some more time before you want to enter the stock. Okay, so now Comstar, last one. It is a nice uptrend, nothing to worry yet. So keep a stop around 520 if you're positional. If you're investing, keep around 430. Just hold on to it. Nothing much. Okay. So I think I've covered all of your stock questions. But yeah, from tomorrow we'll stick to 45 minutes. Probably I just mentioned that because I came back after vacation, I took some more time, and I took some more questions to answer. I took some more time to answer your questions. But one more question from DVR. So no one knows DVR when it will reach 170. Okay, so I have no idea when it will reach 170. And if someone is telling it will reach 170 in 1 year or 2 years, then that's just lie. Just give it some time. I think it is an uptrend. Unless it doesn't go below 120 levels, then you can continue holding. Otherwise, thank you guys. I hope we have again 28 people. Really, thanks for joining. I hope I've answered your questions. And if you have any more questions, tag me on Twitter and ask me, or ask me on the comment section in YouTube. I'll try to answer them. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new, and don't forget to share this video with your friends. As usual, don't forget to like this video before you drop off. Okay, so thank you, good night, and I'll see you again tomorrow in the evening. Thank you.